this video we're going to talk about our framework and what sets it apart. The most noteworthy portion of our framework is the accelerator cuts, which was born in competition world with the 1911s, where they'd weld in a piece of metal onto the frame and give you a forward ledge for your support hand or left hand, non-dominant hand, whatever you'd like to call it. And it gives you the ability to put downward pressure on the pistol, so under rapid fire circumstances, you can keep the muzzle down. So for hammer repairs or double taps, whatever you'd like to call it, you can keep that muzzle down and on target for much more effective rapid fire successions. The second feature that we like to talk about is the non-traditional double undercut. We do a non-traditional double undercut in regard to, we do a traditional undercut, and then where a second one would be, we cut across all the way at that heightened level. So rather than come out and come back in for a second cut, it's just completely cut in a smooth fashion and then stippled. We then also dock the corner of the trigger guard, and it's not for aesthetics, it actually has a purpose. A lot of guys, like one of our sponsored instructors, Paul Van Dunk, likes to run his hand farther forward. So especially when using the accelerator cut, his forward finger ends up being wedged between, for instance, like this X400, it gets wedged between here and on the accelerator pad, so when he presents, he really has good control over the pistol. Seeing that this is more popular nowadays, we figured that this would be a very good way to enhance the capabilities for more progressive shooters, and guys that don't shoot so far forward, they wouldn't even notice a difference. We also do a squared relief, which we call a glove bevel, inside the trigger guard. So we cut it at a 45-degree angle and give you as much space in there so that if you're wearing large gloves, if you're in a cold environment, you won't have problems, as well as if you're like a guy that just has really big fingers or big hands, you're not going to have any issues getting into this trigger guard. Finger grooves are removed standard, but we can also leave them if you request it. The difference between, this is a Gen 3 wrap on what's called a Gen 3 wrap is what we call it, on a Gen 4, which is basically a full stipple, making the back straps no longer useful. However, we can also do a traditional Gen 4 grip, which has just a square of texturing in the back over the factory texturing. And that allows you to use all the back straps, and they're stippled from edge to edge. And if you'd like, we can meld one in so that it's semi-permanent. If you know for a fact you're always going to run, for instance, the medium back strap with beaver tail. And again, there's no cost upgrade to any of that stuff. It's all standard, and we do this for the flat rate for doing framework. The last portion to speak about would be on Gen 4s, we don't do any relief cut for the magazine release because they get caught up kind of easy. However, on a Gen 3 pistol, we do a small scallop, which gives you a little bit of extra room to get that magazine release depressed, to release the magazine without making it oversized or over cumbersome. It's just a small little portion to make it more ergonomic.